about starting a business, an energy business with all the poop, the deer poop. Ben's commissioners because of the smell that said,
No, not
Did I miss
I'm
it at
resigning my
dinner?
position effective
No.
immediately. There's some major issues.
just, but read that, it's really quite.
Request that no one try to contact me. I just need some time.
It's like actually meeting was canceled due to lack of hustle.
The issue.
Oh, that's not even
He went
funny.
down there for a meeting because last night he was like, "Oh my God, Lori just resigned." It was freaking
But is
out.
that in a resignation?
She was at the meeting today.
I know, but is that a resignation?
Awful. That's not a good.
No, that's not a good one, because honestly, if you didn't have friends on the commission, they could say, sorry, you resigned. Oh, they don't want her to resign. No, I know, I'm just saying.
I wrote the messiest I've ever written on my notes this time. I don't know, I'm getting worse at writing. Maybe it's good that I had the new system, because my notes are so bad. I can't read them anymore. So this will be good. When I do this, I'll practice this.
Well, I'm getting used to doing notes on the computer because that's what my other job requires, and I'm starting to like it.
I'm gonna like it because this is a mess.
And then you can use Find.
I turn this speaker.
Yeah. If I'm lighting the candles, I can't have that.
It's like 6 o'clock, Dan.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, I have 6 o'clock. We will go ahead and get started. And if everyone could please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Christie, can you take roll call, please?
Sure. Pappenfort? Here. Stevens? Nacarado? Here. Martin?
Here.
Critelli?
Present.
Fontana?
Here.
Mayor Shore?
Here.
A quorum is present.
Great. And that will bring us to the consent agenda. Any questions or comments on anything on that this evening?
A few days since I read this.
Mr. Mayor, I move to combine and approve the items on the consent agenda.
Second.
So I have a motion from Councilmember Critelli, seconded by Councilmember Nacarado. The motion is to approve, combine and approve the items on the consent agenda. A further discussion?
Critelli?
Yes.
Nacarado?
Yes.
Fontana?
Yes.
Pappenfort?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
The motion passed.
Great. And that takes us to citizen comment. And first up, we have Jim Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and honorable council members. I know you were looking forward to a short agenda this evening, and however, it's with a heavy heart that I must bring an issue before you that will undoubtedly be highly controversial and undoubtedly definitely divisive. So please bear with me. It is April 1st, isn't it? So I'll
I
give
did
you a
read an
second to
article in the
recover
paper
from
this
that.
morning.
There you go. Seriously, I wanted to go on record thanking each and every one of you for working out a solution on access to Spiral Drive. You heard us, and thanks to all who spoke up. You weighed the issue and you found a solution, and I wanted to thank you publicly for listening. Visited with you on the phone or left a message or whatever, but I just want to go on record publicly to let you know that that's something that we certainly appreciate. And trust me, I know that as elected officials, you don't often get many positives, so I wanted to make sure that you got some positives on this one. You had a home run on this one, and you should enjoy that, and the public needs to know that. Spiral Drive can remain a part of Salida's history and its heritage for decades to come, because people will still be able to enjoy that. As we used to say on the farm, you done good. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And Ron Salerno.
Sorry.
No, mine's me too.
Hi, thanks for everything you guys do. Just a real quick comment about F Street and really a couple of questions. I know it came up in working session a little bit. Just looking for some clarity on timelines of like, when will we consider the pedestrian mall? And for what time periods for the summer? Just some clarity around that and to know when that might actually be an official agenda item.
Okay. So you know, it'll be on the next council meeting, so 2 weeks from today.
Cool.
Yep.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Great, thank you. Ray Kitson. Ray, are you going to need a mic this evening?
Funny guy, man. You're a hard guy to be friends with. Ray Kitson, I'm here about the F Street closure. I want to start off by saying this same time last year, we had a huge parking problem. I think you guys recall. We signed a contract with the company because we had this parking issue that, you know, could not be, we didn't have enough parking, and the parking we did have, everyone was using, and we needed to turn them over faster and all this sort of stuff. And like that, overnight, it has vanished. Because now we're getting ready to lose 70 parking spaces. Because the consensus gained by this council last night was that we want to close F Street. That's 70 parking, at least 70 parking spaces gone, okay? Then I did some further investigation, talked to the contractors, talked to some council members, and went on to find out that not only is the construction that we're doing now probably going to last well into the summer, you know, with some breaks and, you know, modified for Fibrock, I understand all that sort of stuff, but Second Street's also going to be under significant construction, as will the alleyways, as will G Street. So I just want to know how people are going to get down to my part of the street, or anything on our side of the light. I just don't understand how this parking issue could just go away, and then all of a sudden we're willing to give away more parking spaces. It just doesn't make sense to me. Your process, I mean, I cannot wrap my head around it. And then it goes on to, you know, they tell me, Ray, well, were you part of the committee, you know, the advisory committee? It's like, no, nobody, I didn't get an email, a text, a certified letter. I mean, I am one of your largest, if not your largest contributor, sales tax revenue downtown. Nothing, crickets. And the people that are not an organization that's organized that I'm aware of. And I was told, oh, somebody came down and dropped a flyer off with one of your people at the boathouse or one of the businesses. I mean, how would you like it if I did that to you? I came to the city, I was like, when you guys say, because believe me, when I do something that you guys don't like down there, I get emails, I get texts. So I know you have my information. I get certified letters. I've gotten it all from you guys. So I know you know how to get a hold of me, but you choose to send out somebody with a flyer. What if when I responded to one of your emails or texts or certified letters, and I just said, hey, I dropped a flyer off at the city building. They're like, with who? I don't know. Somebody that worked there. You would find that offensive. You would find that unprofessional. It's exactly how I find it. You know, I feel very dismissed. I feel disrespected, and it does piss me off. Okay? So I don't really have a huge problem with the closure itself. I do have a problem doing the closure with all this ancillary construction and closures going on at the same time. Yeah, you need to hear this. At the same time, it blocks all of the flow of traffic to the one parking place that you do have, and you need to rethink that.
Okay, thanks, Ray.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do we have anyone online?
I don't see him.
Okay.
No.
And just to make sure everybody knows that at the next council meeting, so 2 weeks from tonight, as I mentioned before, this will be on the agenda. A resolution will come forth on F Street. So I just want to make sure that that's out there for everybody. Okay. We have a proclamation this evening.
Oh, yes.
What? Sorry?
Oh, during the report, you guys will direct staff.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely, thanks. We do have a resolution this evening. It's celebrating April 2025 as Arab American Heritage Month. Whereas for over a century, Arab Americans have been making valuable contributions to virtually every aspect of American society in medicine, law, business, education, technology, government, military service, culture, and whereas since migrating to America, individuals of Arab descent have shared their rich culture and traditions with neighbors and friends, while also setting fine examples of model citizens and public servants. And whereas they brought with them to America their resilient family values, strong work ethic, dedication to education, and diversity in faith and creed that have added strength to our great democracy. And whereas Arab Americans have also enriched our society by sharing in the entrepreneurial American spirit that makes our nation free and prosperous. And whereas the contributions of Arab Americans in the U.S. often can be neglected or defaced by misconceptions, bigotry, and anti-Arab hate in the forms of crimes and speech. And whereas Arab American issues such as civil rights abuses, harmful stereotyping, and bullying must be combated in the forms of education and awareness. And whereas they join all Americans in the desire to see a peaceful and diverse society where every individual is treated equally and feels safe. And whereas the incredible contribution and heritage of Arab Americans have helped us build a better nation. Now, therefore, the city of Salida does hereby proclaim and declare the month of April 2025 as Arab American Heritage Month in Salida, Colorado, and further encourages all Salidans to observe this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. And that brings us to new business. The first off is a sound permit. It's an amplified sound permit request for Highside Bar and Grill. This is a public hearing, so I'll go ahead and open the hearing and turn it over to staff to summarize their report.
Thank you. So we received 3 amplified sound applications from Highside Bar and Grill, one for April 6th, one for April 13th, and one for April 26th. And the times are 2 to 5 for April 6th, 1 to 4 on April 13th, and 1 to 5 on April 26th. And staff is recommending approval of the applications. The one thing, because we kind of combined all 3 applications into one, you can approve all of them. You could approve number 1 or number 2. That's kind of why it was written that way. So you could approve 1, 2, 3, or all. And I could answer any questions
Great.
if you have.
Thank you. Questions for Christy? Looks pretty straightforward to me.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the amplified sound permit request for Highside Bar and Grill located at 300 West 2nd Avenue.
It's a public hearing?
Oh, it's a public
That's right.
hearing.
That's right. It is a public. True.
Well, slow me down.
I know, I should have.
Thanks, though.
Yes, they were great. They were great. And we don't have, there's no applicant present tonight.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't see them. Okay. Any public comment? Anyone signed up? Okay, no one. So no need for rebuttal from the applicant or staff. No one to ask questions of who offered comment. So I'll go ahead and close the hearing and take us to preliminary council discussion. Who'd like to begin?
Councilwoman Pappenford, I think was saying.
I'm pretty sure she does.
Yeah.
What gave that away?
Approve the amplified sound permit request for Highside Bar and Grill located at 300 West 2nd Avenue for the following dates and times: April 6th, 2025 from 2 to 5 p.m., April 13th, 2025 from 1 to 4 p.m., and April 26th, 2025 from 1 to 5 p.m.
Second.
So we have a motion from Councilmember Pappenford, seconded by Councilmember Fontana. The motion is to approve the amplified sound permit request for Highside Bar and Grill located at 300 West Sackett Avenue for the following dates and times: April 6, 2025 from 2 to 5 p.m., April 13th, 2025 from 1 to 4 p.m., and April 26, 2025 from 1 to 5 p.m. Further discussion?
Critelli,
Yes.
Pappenford,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Fontana,
Yes.
Nacarado.
Yes.
Motion passed.
And we have an additional sound permit, and this one is for Arc Valley Indivisible Rally in March, and this is another public hearing. And so I'll go ahead and open the hearing and turn it over to staff again for your report.
Okay, so we received an application on behalf of the Ark Valley Indivisible for a rally in March. It'll start in Riverside Park, then going through downtown and returning to the park. It'll be on April 5th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And staff is recommending approval of the amplified sound permit. And I can answer any questions if you have them.
Any questions for Christie?
What is Ark Valley Indivisible? Is that an organization or is that?
It is an organization. They're not.
That'd be a good opportunity to learn more.
I'm gonna make, so it's an Amendment 1 rally.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to read that?
The First Amendment or?
It's in their application, it just says it's an Amendment 1 rally in March to protest the policies of the current administration in Washington, D.C. as part of a national mobilization effort. It will be a nonviolent, peaceful demonstration beginning with a rally and local speakers, elected officials at Riverside Park, and then march through downtown, returning to Riverside Park for closing statements.
All right. Well, I guess they're not here.
Any other questions on that?
Is Spiral Mountain?
Okay, let's see, there's no applicant here this evening? Okay, very good, so there's no need for, any public comment?
No.
Nobody signed up for public comment, okay. So there's no need for rebuttal since nothing was shared other than what first came up. I'll go ahead and close public hearing, and that'll take us to preliminary council discussion. Who'd like to begin?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve an amplified sound permit for Ark Valley Indivisible on April 5th, 2025 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Second.
So we have a motion from Councilmember Nacarado, seconded by Councilmember Papenfort. The motion is to approve an amplified sound permit for Ark Valley Indivisible on April 5th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Further discussion?
Nacarado,
Yes.
Papenfort,
Yes.
Fontana,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Critelli.
Yes.
The motion passed.
Okay, and then we're all the way to council reports. What's that?
Treasurer's report was what I saw next. I know he always goes after us.
Yep, so,
Do you want to go right now, though? Are you feeling excited about it?
It's not on the agenda.
She really wants to get confusing here.
oh, we'll make it happen. Don't you worry. Okay, Councilmember Nacarado.
My only thing tonight is that at the CHA board meeting just held last week of March, it was delayed due to the spring break holiday and board members being out of town, and that board meeting recording has been posted. So I don't need to say anything more about it because you can go watch the recording. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Martin.
Nothing for me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Critelli.
I guess I would bring up that it is my intention to want to see F Street closure discussion happen on the next agenda item. I think I would need a second just to get that
Second.
approved on it. Just to discuss further, especially logistics, have proper notice, and obviously we already, like Groundhog Day, we've had this discussion pretty much the same every year for the last 5 years. But this element has changed, the element of construction, and would like to just make sure that we're not running into any pitfalls with that and issues that were raised. Thanks.
Thank you, appreciate it. Councilmember Stevens is not here this evening, so Councilmember Fontana.
So I have a few things. There was no finance committee meeting last month because we had our regular meeting was canceled. So we'll have another meeting on that next month. The golf course, the Salida Recreation Corporation Board. So I did go to my first meeting on that. They are very well organized. I have to say that it's a board of all locals. There's 7 of them. They put in their hours like no other. They have great discussions. They listen to people, bring stuff back as people approach them. Braden Bentley is returning as the golf pro this year for his second year. He's got a lot of new stuff going on in the golf shop, so go see him for anything you need related to golf. Mike Springs is the maintenance manager out there for 10-plus years. He's doing a great job. He says the turf is in good shape despite the little moisture we had this winter. So he says it's looking good. First of all, they're open. I don't know if I started with that, but they're open out there. Their hours are kind of fluctuating now depending on the weather, but as the weather gets better, their hours will extend. So they are open and ready to play golf. They're in need of 2 to 3 employees, some part-time, some full-time, seasonal, all summer. So they said, please put a little blip out there. I'm sure lots of people are in need of employees, but if you feel like going to the golf course, go see them. The membership numbers are up and rising at the golf course. So they're still open if you would like to join and have a membership there. They have a locals discounted daily rate of 10% off if you don't want to be a member, but you'd like to go play. 10% is nice for locals. Next month, Chief Johnson said he's going to let me know when next month is, and he said I should have a list of their projects. So, I mean, it was a very good meeting. I was very impressed by that board. I would also like to talk about Councilman Critelli about the F Street issues. If you have something to input before that, please bring it to us. You know, everybody's got our emails, or bring it to city staff, however you would like to contact beforehand, or come and speak. And beforehand, kind of get your comments going, because you'll have your 3 minutes up here as we discuss. Thanks to Jim Wilson and Kay Duffy and all of their work, and city staff and all of council with the discussions on Tenderfoot Mountain. I thought that was very productive last night. The last thing is I attended the event with the Ascent launch party through the EDC at the steam plant. It was absolutely packed. It was absolutely sold out. A wonderful event. Can't say enough about how fortunate we are to have that in our community locally. The question I had was, I'm not sure when the last time we had them here. Does anybody know the last time we had the EDC
Yeah,
come?
they came in not too long ago because they have a new director.
That's right.
Yeah, that was pretty
Okay, I
recent.
just wanted to make sure that everybody knew they had the new director, Deborah Cameron. The events the things that the EDC does support are the marketing, financial plans, P&Ls, balance sheets, managing and recruiting employees. If you need something such as that, please contact the EDC. They are there for, the Chaffey County EDC, they're here to help businesses, and they're a really good thing. We are lucky to have that event going on in our community. And that was all I had.
Thank you, appreciate it. Councilmember Pattenford.
Would staff reach out to Deborah Cameron? She said she was going to send a summary of the EDC, and I wanted to see a list of all of the new businesses that were in the program. It was a fantastic program. It really was very inspiring.
And I'll second that.
Yeah. And then for people reaching out on the F Street matter, my preference is that you write to staff, and then they will distribute the message to everyone so that we all get the same information. Because, you know, we get in these situations where we just have to get all the same information. So please do it that way. What else did you say? Oh, and on the treasurer's, the finance meeting, the treasurer actually had his own meeting with the auditors, and he excused us because we've met with the auditors and have a great deal of confidence in them and a lot of familiarity with their work. So we were able to take advantage of the full week off, and we really appreciate that. And then you already got a full report on the grants status, because the grants have now been awarded. But that's a very rewarding opportunity, you know, and another council member may want to do that next time. I'm willing to do it again. We'll see. It was a very efficient group. We met all our deadlines. We stuck to the matrix. We followed the rules, and it was a very solid process. So it was great work. And that's all. Thank you.
Thanks. And I just had a couple of things this evening. First off, I wanted to thank everyone on council, staff, along with all the citizens who voiced their opinions regarding Spiral Drive. I think it's just a great example of community working together and a council that has the ability to listen when you know, really good ideas are brought forward. And you know, we live in these really polarized times right now at a national level, and I'm just really grateful that at a local level, we can continue to work on making sure people feel heard and they can bring ideas to us, and that we can work on the fine art of compromise. So thank you, everybody. On a lighter note, I had an opportunity last week to speak to, it seemed like 60 or 70 third graders at Longfellow. And I just love the innocence and how much fun it was. And we got to the questions, and I think there were 55 hands that went up. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh boy, how am I going to answer these questions? And virtually every single question was, do you know my dad? Do you know my mom? Do you know my grandfather? Do you know this? Do you know that? And I had a few yeses and a lot of I probably should, and I'm sorry I don't. But I love doing those kinds of things, and it's one of the real advantages of living in a small community like this. So one of my more favorite meetings in the last 7+ years I've been on council. So that's all that I had. And treasurer report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So January city sales tax collections increased by about $22,000 or 3.2% as compared to January of 2024. The city's portion of the Chaffee County sales tax collections increased by about $19,000, 7.8% increase over January 2024. In total, sales tax receipts are about 4.3% higher for the first month of the year. Also, one of the exciting jobs of the auditor, as Councilmember Pattenforth alluded to, is to provide oversight for the city's audit. So in March, I had a meeting with the auditors, and based on the best practices of the Government Finance Association, we did a review of the audit plan that's in place, and we found that it's in compliance with all the recommendations. So the audit is continuing right now, and it will be presented to the Finance Committee at a later date along with council. So that's the end of my report.
Thanks. Anything from our attorney? Nothing tonight? How about staff?
I do have one thing that is hot off the presses. For the fourth year in a row, the city of Salida has been awarded the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award by the Government Finance Officers Association. So kudos to Amy and her staff, and yeah, it's a great award.
It's too bad she's not here in the room so we could see her blush.
I told her she didn't have to come to this meeting. So
That's great.
that's all I have. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks. Okay, we do have an
Well,
executive.
Mr. Mayor, I do have a motion
Yes.
I'd like to present. I
You're-
don't want to throw any curveballs, but Mr. Mayor, I move to go into executive session for discussion of a personnel matter under CRS Section 24-6-4024F and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session, any member of this body or any elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or of an elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees, and the additional details as city clerk and city attorney's annual performance evaluations.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, and the motion is to go into executive session for discussion of a personnel matter under CRS Section 24-6-4024F and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session, any member of this body or any elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or of an elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees. And the following additional details are provided for identification purposes: city clerk and city attorney's annual performance evaluations. Further discussion?
Fontana,
Yes.
Nacarado,
Yes.
Critelli,
Yes.
Pappenfort,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Motion passed.
We just agreed that that was one of the shortest meetings on record,
Yeah.
but that means next time, we all
We're
know,
breaking records.
next week we may be breaking records too.
Yeah, I can feel it.
You know what they say about payback?
Yeah.
But just the idea that we can do something this quickly is,
Yeah,
Now that is efficient.
puts it on next week.
That is what your tax dollars are getting, this kind of
It's like when you
efficiency.
skip laundry for a week.
You pay it.
everybody's here, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
Okay, and everything's turned back on?
Yes.
Okay. The time is now 7:09, and the executive session has been concluded. The participants in the executive session were council members Critelli, Fontana, Mayor Dan Shore, Councilmember Martin, Councilmember Nacarado, and Councilmember Pappenfort, along with City Administrator Dune, City Attorney Williams, City Clerk Jefferson, and our consultant, Kim Smoyer. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the executive session, not included in the motion to go into executive session occurred during the executive session, or that any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record. Seeing none, do you want to provide a quick summation, or should I? I can do that. Okay, and we went into the executive session this evening to discuss annual reviews for our city attorney and our city clerk. And seeing that there are no concerns for the record, the next agenda item is a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody.
So are you going to be here tomorrow?